Hey, dear reader, I hope you're doing well. Hope you don't mind, but I wanted to take some of your precious time to explain something important to your finances. Financial planning is necessary for a stable and secure life. You have to plan at least something. Come on, let's do it. Financial planning is necessary. So many times people don't know where to start with financial planning, or they lack financial knowledge, or they simply don't have the time. Then they contact a professional, aka a financial advisor or a planner. That's the topic, though, that I wanted to get into today. So there's a big difference in this world of ours between a fee-only and a commission-based financial planner or financial advisor, or that type of planning. Commission-based advisors, in case you don't know this, I just met with a friend who's a good guy, love him dearly, but he works on commissions, and so he advises with use of commissions. And so, the challenge that I always have had with someone who's a product-based advisor is that they only get paid if you buy a product from them. And so their interest in meeting with you and working with you and advising you with you tends to be pretty product driven and product specific. At the end of the day, really, if you don't buy any of their products, they don't keep working with you, and they certainly don't advise you any further. But it really is kind of a question of what's the advice that you're getting from this person? Because at the end of the day, if a product isn't coming away, if they're not coming away with a product sale, they're not coming away with any money. And so one wonders if maybe all their advice isn't driven to get you to say yes to their products. Are you really getting advice, or are they just convincing you that their product is what you need? I feel like that's not the best way to be working with someone, especially if they call themselves an advisor. And so we work instead as what we call our fee-only advisors. That means that we get paid directly by our clients in a fee that we charge to them. We don't get a kickback or commission or some sort of arrangement with a third party, namely an insurance or investment insurance company or an investment custodian. There is just the fees that our clients pay to us. And so we really are positioned, I think, to be on the client's side of the table, advocating, almost really like an agent, representing them, saying what's in your best interest. They're paying us to take our knowledge, our expertise, and look in their situation and direct them on what it is that they should do, which sometimes means a product is the right way to go. We do have clients who move forward with, let's say, a life insurance policy or a disability policy, or we change things up. Maybe they pick up some umbrella insurance or go to another health insurance solution. I mean, we can't really work in the world of ours without having some use, I think. At least we can't work in it smartly without the use of some product, whether that's an investment product or an insurance product. So it's not an issue against those products. It's an issue with how those products are being brought together and implemented within your plan, and ultimately whether or not they make sense specifically for you. And there are times that even though we may commonly advocate for life insurance for someone, maybe in your situation, life insurance doesn't make sense. And it's okay for you not to get life insurance. And even with us who think that life insurance is a pretty good thing to get for most of the time, for most of the people, can say, yeah, actually, in your situation, that's not something we need you to do. That's the whole difference, is that we're okay either with you not fully implementing our advice. You have the freedom to say no to it and choose. You can decline, and we still get paid because you're paying us to give that advice. We gave it, you paid us for it. You can choose to do with our advice as you wish. So, I mean, we tend to like to see people do our use our advice because that's what they're paying us for. And that advice is based, it's scoured out, that we find it, it's not offhanded. It's founded from educational formation and research and what we think is ultimately what's in your best interest. But again, you don't have to pursue it. Maybe you don't pursue it even though we advise for it, or maybe we think you don't need to pursue it. All that to say is, if we're in a product-based relationship, you have to buy this product for me or I'm not making any money. And if I'm not making any money, there's not much point for me to keep talking to you. And so I'm either going to get really good at convincing you to buy this, or we're not going to work together any longer. In either situation, you are either not getting advice, or the advice you're getting is highly tailored to a product sale. And I think that's problematic. And so instead, our focus isn't so much on closing products. Our focus is on planning. What is it that you want to accomplish? What would you like for us to help you accomplish? What changes do we need to make in your situation to help you accomplish that? A lot of our work really is in helping to navigate and adjust and tweak your day-to-day behaviors to get those working and in your benefit. And so at times that does mean still a product sale, but it's not all the time. In fact, a lot of times we don't need you to buy a product. It's either covered through some other means. Maybe it's handled through as an employee benefit arrangement, or it makes sense to get it privately, but it's it's maybe not as much as what we could advocate for. Otherwise, like, we have a broader conversation about what's all the scope of the financial resources available to you. Do you really need this? And maybe you do. And if we do really think that you need it, then guess what? We're going to advocate for you to do it. The other thing about our fees and what makes us special as a fee-only advisor is our fees are transparent. Unfortunately, in a product-based arrangement, unless you ask the advisor, they usually don't disclose this. They're kind of supposed to, but they tend not to, because they know that maybe it would affect a person's decision to move forward. You don't really know what they're making off of that sale. And so that starts to become the challenge too, is that products don't pay out equally. And so if you're working with a product-based advisor, what they end up paying you, or what they get paid, might vary from one product to the next. And one wonder is, is that affecting the advice that you're getting? Everyone has to get paid in some way. So I'm not here to be negative on folks who work in this, because I know of good people who work in this capacity. I just don't love the business model. I really don't think it's that great, but it's fine. You can still get good advice from someone who's in a product-based arrangement, but you still, like, one of the issues that you have is it's not always clear how they're getting compensated, how much they're getting compensated, and whether or not, one product that maybe they're advocating for is paying, more or less versus the other products, is, again, the reason why they're suggesting or encouraging you to buy this, because, quite frankly, it pays them more, or they make more money from it. It wouldn't be unreasonable for them to do that. They want to take care of their families too. So what's different then is that we charge our clients directly, but our fees in charging them are transparent. You know exactly what you're paying for, and we share it with you, almost to, honestly, our detriment, to be honest with you. I feel like sometimes our fees are too transparent, if there's such a thing. That's a whole other conversation perhaps to be had. But if you're curious, what are our fees? The fee is 1% of annual household income. That's what we use as one gauge to help to figure out what the fee should be. So 1% of your total household earnings, that's gross income, and then 0.5% of your net worth. What are we trying to get at between those two metrics? One is, as you're earning money, there's a question of taking that money and what are we doing with it? And especially with a lot of the younger clients that we're wanting to take that income and convert it towards wealth. And so figuring out what's the best way, given the income that you make, to turn this to wealth for you. But then once converted to wealth, which we often think of as net worth, how to manage that money. They're two separate activities that are taking place. And what's the best way to keep as much of that money in your pocket over time, especially once we start to factor in taxes, either ongoing annual income taxes, or maybe eventually if you're in a situation of estate taxes later on into life. So it's a management of wealth and a management of income, and a fee where we advise on both sides, and it's a fee associated with both. Now that fee can get divided out into monthly or quarterly payments. And so you can either pay for that out of your monthly cash flow, much like you would maybe pay any other subscription, or we can only pull the fee from investments, or we could do both. So the cost it can get broken up a portion accordingly as it makes sense for you. It's more lucrative to be in those product sales, because the compensation isn't coming so much from you. I mean, it does come from you, and that you have to sign off on it, but it's also coming more from the larger company, the broader firm. And there's different quotas or incentives or amplifiers that they'll have as part of their compensation model, which, depending on how much business you close and of a certain type, you might get a nice big quarterly bonus, as an example. And so your role in that situation is just meet people and talk with them, and basically what can I do to get them to say yes to one of my products. And sure, they may have some questions on it, but as long as you sound and look smarter than them, quite frankly, a lot of people don't really know financial matters very much or very well. And, that can hurt them, because this other person can sound rather smart. And sure, okay, yeah, if you think that's what I do, I suppose that's what I can do. Maybe I can figure out a way to pay for this. Let's come over to Bonafide. Let's see how we can be of help in our services. Let's just change the model up, folks. You don't have to work with an advisor in this way. We can work in this other model, which I think is the better approach. So, whether you need help with your student loans, investment management, retirement planning, we've got you covered, and all in your best interest in mind. So, I know sometimes folks, hey, you're also reluctant to jump into financial planning. Gosh, maybe you think it's too much work, it's too expensive, or it's just not for you. Hey, we get it. So what we try to do to help you out with that is we give you a free, no obligation, 45-minute call with us. We'll go over the basics of your finances at no cost to you. And so with no obligation, we can just have a chat and conversation to see how we can be a good fit for your situation. And you can schedule a call with us ultimately to learn more. So that's it for me today. I hope to see you on a call soon. And remember, as you're working with advisors, we're not all the same. We don't all get compensated the same. I think fee-only advice is really the better way to go. So why don't you give us a call and we can show that to you. Have a great day.